Hello guys, welcome back to Racketology. My name is Zach and today we're going to be discussing how many rackets should you really be carrying in your bag. These 12 that I have laid out here before me are my old 12 rackets that I used to play with. Now, I didn't really need 12 rackets, but I did so much testing for different string, different grips, and weighting and customization that, these 12 rackets pretty much ended up into my, my wheelhouse, I guess you could say. But for most people, we're just going to be talking from a player standpoint. So we're going to be going over basically just how many rackets make sense for individual players, and hopefully it'll be helpful for you. So we're going to start out with one racket. So this is going to be, a recreational player, someone who isn't really going to be competing in, matches or competitive play. It's going to mostly just be hitting around with friends. Hey, one frame will be fine. You don't pop string, every year or anything like that. And even if you did, it's not going to be during a crucial match. Maybe you might miss out with hitting some friends one day if you go ahead and miss hit a ball and it snaps at the edge. But for the most part, it's not going to be something that happens to you very often at all. Once you start playing competitive play, right? You're playing leagues, or maybe you're playing, finally some match play or USTA if you're a junior. Yeah, a second racket does make sense, because now if you go ahead and miss hit a ball, you're hitting a little bit bigger, and then, you pop a string, you don't want to be out of a match. You want to be able to go, okay, I have, another racket. No one wants to lose in default because they went ahead and popped a string. Then we're going to get over to the 3 to 4 racket range. So this is going to be for people who are playing at a pretty significant level now. If it's going to be a junior, they're going to be looking at, higher up champs, super champs level where they're just playing all the time. I know a lot of kids who join, academies that are just hitting through, 16, 17 gauge polyester, and they're just ripping through this, every week or so. So, once you start getting over to that point, then you can start looking towards these, and some people will even pop them even quicker, even if they're playing, a little bit of a lower level. But, some people love the feel of certain string. If they don't want to switch over to a polyester, they'll want to keep their multi-filament, let's say, just because that's what they feel gives them the best performance, which totally makes sense. You shouldn't switch over to something just because it's durable all the time. Some people would much rather just buy a new frame than give up that type of performance that they've gotten used to than switching to a string that's stiff and they just can't get used to and hate the feel and response from it, So then we're looking towards 5 and 6 racket range. Now these are going to be people that are going to be popping string at, before a week, really, almost 3 to 4 days. So once you start getting over towards this point, I mean, you're looking at, maybe a college level player who's really smacking the ball well. Some really, really good juniors out there will still be popping string maybe around this range. It is going to be a little bit rare. Typically, you'll see it around adults that are really able to kind of strike that ball with a lot of racket head speed and start popping some string. And typically they're going to be playing with something more durable. But like I said, you could also have someone who is playing a little bit of a lower level, but, still playing with something that's going to be a more comfortable string, that they just tear up quickly. All right, then once we get over to 7 and 8 rackets, you're going to be looking at higher up ITF level players, pretty much higher up college level players too, where they're tearing through string. I mean, it doesn't matter if you have poly or anything like that. They're hitting through these string and they're popping them almost daily, just in and out of the racket basically. Then we get over to 9 and 10 rackets. I mean, this is going to be the realm for pros basically. Pros are going to be some of the only individuals that are going to be tearing up rackets this quickly. I'm not saying that it's not possible for someone who's not playing at a pro level, but it is pretty rare, so that's something to kind of keep in mind before you start thinking about investing in a ton of rackets, is that unless you're playing at a super, super high level most of the time, it's not going to make sense to have so many frames if you aren't actually going to use them. Then we get over to 11 and 12 rackets. I mean, these guys are just going to be monsters, so they're going to be ATP level. They're going to be playing, some of the best in the world basically. And by that time, hey, they're probably sponsored and they're probably getting all 12 of those for free. So it's not going to be as big of a deal. But yeah, hopefully this has been helpful to you guys. And I know that most people are just going to be from this 1 to 4 racket range, or maybe even up to this 6, and the rest of this may be a little bit rarer. But hopefully it's been helpful to you guys, and hopefully this has in some way helped you in maybe making a decision about another racket. Anyway, guys, take care. Hit the subscribe button, and that way you can stay up to date with all the future content that we're going to be posting on this channel. Leave a like too and comment. If you guys have any questions about anything that I can, hopefully answer or help with, or maybe even if it's a video about something that you want to know more about, just let me know. Take care and happy hitting, guys.